7. Ooh.
Good morning. I am Justin Gray, and I am the host of the War Eagles Coaches Corner. This morning, I'd like to welcome the head coach of the Jenkins County football team, Coach David Johnson.
Thank you, Justin. Good to be here.
Good morning, Coach. This morning, we'd like to talk about the win last week over the ECI Bulldogs. Can you run us through some of the stats?
Yeah, we ended up having one of our better nights of the season. We had a little over 250 yards rushing. Didn't have as many yards passing as we thought we might have. We were actually hoping for a little more, but we ended up with 57 yards passing, and even though we didn't get the yards that we were thinking we may get, it was very effective. You know, being able to throw the ball early, and even though we didn't hit on a couple of them, it really softened them up a little bit in the secondary. I think they were a little worried about us throwing the deep ball, and it enabled us to open up the running game.
As we know, this is the first time the War Eagles have beaten the Bulldogs in 19 years. What does this mean to you?
Oh, it was big. Yeah, I mean, 31 years in the coaching profession, a lot of it been spent in this area. Played a lot of football games in that stadium, and this was the first time I was able to walk off of it with a W. You know, so it was really sweet from a personal standpoint, and just from a standpoint of the Jenkins County community. You know, it's a big rival, and I heard a lot of talk all week from people in town. Did I think we could beat them? Did I think we could beat them? You know, and I felt like going in, we had a legitimate shot. And the kids came through. Y'all played hard. You did everything we asked you to do.
From your perspective, what are some of the highlights from the win?
Well, I think it was all pretty obvious. Like I said, the passing game, even though we only threw 6 times, it was very effective at accomplishing what we were hoping it would accomplish. And it really just opened it up where Brandon was able to have a big night running the football, and he had his best game of the year by far. He ran hard. He made some moves that I hadn't even seen him make this year, but he made people miss. And I felt like all week long, if we could get him into the secondary, we were going to have a shot at some big plays, because I noticed that they struggled at times tackling in the secondary, and I just felt like if we could get him to that level, he would have a shot to make some plays.
Going into this Friday night's game, we are on a 3-game winning streak, and we host the Scriven County Gamecocks. How are you keeping the team focused this week?
Well, it's always a challenge, and it's like it's what I love about coaching. I think every week's a different challenge, you know. And this week the challenge is getting them to forget that, you know, and move on. You know, it's more than just ECI. It's a football season, and you have to be ready each and every week, and we have to be consistent. You know, now that we've accomplished the goal of beating ECI, we know now what we're capable of, and we just got to be able to be consistent. And that's been my message all week. Is last week was the best week of practice we had all year, and I tell the guys all the time that, you know, you're gonna play like you practice. If you practice well, you're gonna play well, and hopefully that point was made very well last week, and hopefully now it'll carry over throughout the rest of the season.
What are some of the keys you guys see for the War Eagles' success Friday?
Well, we got to be very physical up front. They're big up front on defense. I feel like we've got some things installed to where we're going to be able to keep them in some 7-man fronts, keep them out of the 8-man fronts, and I feel like if we can keep them in the 7-man fronts physically, I think we're going to match up pretty well, and we should be able to move the ball. We just got to come off and hit them in the mouth.
Who are some players to watch for on both sides of the ball for the Gamecocks?
Well, they got one defensive back, a corner that's pretty solid, that we've seen on film, and like I said, their size up front. You know, they're big enough that if we don't get off to a good start and we don't really come out being physical and being aggressive, they can cause us some problems. Their quarterback's a good player, got good speed. He throws the ball pretty well. They've got a kid at wide receiver, number 10, that's pretty solid. Just got to do a good job of taking care of our base responsibilities and everybody doing their job, just like we preached all year long. And I think we'll be okay.
Who are some of the guys for the War Eagles that need to have a good game?
Well, that's pretty much the same as every week. We know that, you know, as much as we're going to run the football, we need Brandon to have a good night, and that all starts up front with the offensive line. We need to play well up front, and we're going to need to hit some things in the passing game again. You know, the passing game has turned out to be very big for us. You've done a great job throwing the ball the last few weeks, and just need to keep doing more of the same.
I want to thank Coach Johnson for joining me this morning for the Coach's Corner. Plan to join us this Friday here at home as we play Scriven County at 7:30. This is Justin Gray signing off till next time, and go War Eagles.
Hey, Spug, I get a 2-5 in the ooh.